Standard 4 is about solving word problems. There's three main steps to solving a word problem. First, you define a variable or variables. If you're lucky, the equation only needs one variable to solve, but sometimes they're more complicated and you need two or more variables. After you have your variables, you write an equation with them, and then you solve it. So we'll start with problems that use math phrases, and after these problems, we'll move on to story problems, where the math phrases aren't quite so obvious and you're going to have to figure out from the words in the problem what the math is that's going on. So this first problem, the product of 5 and a number is 17. What is the number? So the math going on here is multiplying, because the word product means multiplying. For a variable, I'm trying to think what the number might be, so I'm going to say n stands for the number. And to write an equation, the product of 5 and a number. So I'm going to write that as 5n, and it is 17. Is usually means equals. So to solve this equation, 5 is multiplied by n, so I will just divide by 5 to undo that, and get that the number is 17/5. The next problem, if 6 is added to 3 times a number, the result is 18. What is the number? I'm going to stick with n for the name of the variable. And now the equation. 6 is added to 3 times a number. So I'm going to start with 3 times a number, and then I'm going to add 6 to it. The result is 18. That would be equals 18. So now to solve this, there's a few more steps. I'll subtract 6 from each side. 3n equals 12. Divide by 3. And I get that the number is 4. Here's a problem that's a little bit more of a story, so you have to think a little bit harder to figure out what the equations are. Sarah is 2 years older than her brother William. The sum of their ages is 12. How old are Sarah and William? So the question's asking for Sarah and William's ages. So I'm feeling I need two variables here. I'm going to say S is Sarah's age, and W is William's age. Sarah is 2 years older than her brother William. So I'm going to write that as an equation. Sarah is 2 years older. That means Sarah's age is 2 more than William's. And I also know that the sum of their ages is 12. To write that as an algebra equation, I'll say Sarah plus William equals 12. So now I have to somehow combine these two equations together and figure out what Sarah and William's ages are. What I'm going to do, I see that Sarah is the same as W plus 2. That's what that equal sign means. So in this second equation, where I see the S, I'm going to replace it with W plus 2. And I'm going to leave the plus W, and that still equals 12. So I use the color there to make that more obvious. Sarah is the same as W plus 2. So we replaced that red underlined S with the red underlined W plus 2, because I know they're both the same. So now I'm just going to go ahead and solve this. I'll combine like terms. W plus W is 2W. And then I'm going to subtract 2 from each side. So 2W equals 10. Divide each side by 2. That means William's age is 5. Sarah is 2 years older than William, so Sarah is 7 years old. Does that make sense with the problem? 7 is 2 more than 5, and if you add 7 and 5, that gives you 12. So everything there adds up.